Disclaimer: this video is satire and not a helpful guide in any way whatsoever. This video is intended to be humorous and does not contain any valuable information regarding to prep for the DLC Shadow of the Erdtree. This video is just an idea I had an hour ago in the shower, and I have no idea how it's going to go. In short, this video is a bunch of baloney. Now come along with me for the Sunstopper Ultimate DLC Prep Guide. Not actually. Please enjoy. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Sunstopper channel. Today we're going to be going through an extensive ultimate guide to preparing for the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC coming soon. So follow along with me today as we make sure we get everything we need to be ready. First things first, you're going to want to skip the item in the very first building. It's useless. I don't remember what it is. Okay, actually it turns out we may need this item. I'm remembering now it's pertinent to the DLC. And now, opening these doors, do not walk out instantly. You're going to want to wait here for at least 10 or 11 counts. Either will work. And once you've done that, you're going to want to backstep, forward roll, heavy attack. Now what this does is actually open up a secret trapdoor near the start of the DLC. Upon entering this trapdoor, you will see a plus 24 lightsaber. Now the intention of the lightsaber's inclusion to the game is a little bit elusive, we're not really sure, but we can assume it's some sort of homage to Star Wars. If someone could fact check that with Miyazaki for me, that would be amazing. Very important to break those barrels, because if you break these barrels and you see a green gemstone inside one of them, it means your game file is corrupted and you have to restart. Coming up to the ledge of the first area, go to the far left plank, sticking out. Get as close to the edge as you're comfortable with, and point. Frick. And yes, if you follow my steps exactly, just like that, everything will be fine. What the... Yes, because you'll start out back at the Chapel of Anticipation, and what this allows you to do is go back and pick up your runes in the first area, which usually you would think you're unable to do. And yes, it may say I have 0 runes, but since I picked that up before beating the first boss, upon entry to the DLC, they have actually included a Bowser cameo. He comes down in his Bowser blimp, he shakes your hand and will say the dialogue, "My Elden King, this is all I can offer you for your services to the land between." And he will drop money bags with $signs on them, which can be picked up for an easy 8 million runes. And now coming down the stairs from the Chapel of Anticipation, you're going to want to see this first rock on your left. Jump up on it. Now you might think I'm a little mad after what happened, but actually I can pick this up again for another 8 million runes from Bowser. It can be done infinite amount of times. As I was saying, you're going to want to jump on the first rock on the left, look at that little building off in the distance, you can barely see it, point at it, and say out loud, "What the heck is that?" And now you're going to need to plug in your gamepad, Xbox, PlayStation controller, it doesn't matter. But when you get to this bridge, and here's why you'll need a controller and not a keyboard, you're going to want to slow walk as slow as you possibly can, which can only be done on controller, because you want to be precise. As soon as you get to these 2 boards that are kind of looking very close together, as you can see, a little closer than the other boards. That's how I tell every time I do this. You're going to want to look left, and then right, and then center your camera, look down, and say, "Shrek, I'm looking down!" And then you may continue. This has no effect on the game or the DLC. It's just kind of funny. And then give that bad boy a smack on your way out. Coming up to the first tutorial boss here, you're gonna have to beat him on your first try. And yes, you are gonna have to do it on Wretch build, using the club, no armor, anything. I'll go ahead and do that right now. Ding! And I'll cut out the footage of the fight there because I don't want to bore you to death. But yes, we beat him on our first try, and it's very important that you do. Now, entering this first room in the cave, you're going to want to run past this area, which actually leads you to the real tutorial. And you're just going to want to skip it because who's got time for that noise, am I right? Everything is normal here. Go up and open the first door, it's fine. But before proceeding through these doors, you're going to want to turn your character around, point your camera straight up, and say out loud, "I'm on my way." And then you may continue. Get this first grace. Go up to this fog wall, middle door, right door, left door, it doesn't matter. Hit it once, and say, Dang it, let me in. This is actually a hidden voice command. The game registers you saying, dang it, let me in. And in the DLC, when you get there, you'll see that a fog wall will have opened up that for anyone else will actually be locked who didn't do the voice command. And upon entering the fog wall that it unlocks, you will be rewarded with a pretty risque cutscene involving Godric. Adults only. You're gonna want to get this item on your right. Finger Severer, it's very important. I will not elaborate further. Now when you get to the first elevator, you're going to want to go clockwise, not counterclockwise. Run around on this second layer of the stone on the ground. We call this the ring-a-ding technique. It actually will permanently upgrade your character's movement speed by 0.9 up to a max of 5.8 times movement speed, I believe, if you run around it for long enough, which can actually be boosted up to 7 times movement speed if you go do with that information what you will, but let's continue. Do not touch your controller while you're on this elevator. Do not. It's very important. Wait 10 seconds when you get to the top. After you've done so, you may backstep once, backstep twice, turn to the camera, say, thanks for the lift, how much do I owe you? And then you may continue. Smash this jar, just in case it's a mimic. And then nothing special required here, just walk through this door and bask in the glory of Limgrave. Oh, but also I should mention, if you step on one single crack on this area before the stairs, your character will die instantly upon entrance of the DLC, and your game save will actually be deleted. So be careful. I would suggest jumping off. Oops, I touched a crack there. Well, I guess I'll have to start another game. Leading up to this second grace, you're going to want to dodge every single rock. Touching a rock will insta-kill you. That's actually not true. I just don't like how the rocks feel on my little toes. You're gonna want to grab this second grace, come up to this fine gentleman here, go up on your left side, his right, opposite side of the lantern, I like to say to make it easier. You're gonna have to put your weapon away, scroll over to your gestures tab, point at him, and say out loud, I know what you did. And then you may continue. Moving along, you're gonna want to grab this item, it's very important. You can break that skull on the ground for a quick 1 golden rune if you want to make the game easy for yourself. And yes, as you're guessing, you do have to beat Tree Sentinel on your first try. No armor, club only. And I'll just go do that really quick to speed things along. I'll see you when I'm done. And there we go, easy as pie. Don't mind those footsteps behind me, I think it's a glitch. What? Coming up to the Church of Ella, you'll want to grab this item on your right. If you're a coward and you want to make the game easy for yourself. Now, upon entering the church, you're going to want to come up to Santa Claus and sit next to him. Now, this part can be a little time consuming. You're actually going to have to sit here and tell campfire stories for approximately an hour and 24 minutes. So I'll just go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in a bit. And so that's when he says to her, grapes, my maiden? And get this, she says, no thanks, I'm famished. Get it? No thanks, I'm famished. Oh, looks like we're coming up on the hour 24 minute mark here. And now what this does for the DLC is actually gives you the storyteller trait, which will upgrade your hidden charisma stat by 10 points, allowing you to recruit any single character in the DLC to fight along your side. And it's actually important to make sure your game crashes at this point. And we're back. And yes, like I said, that crash is actually a very helpful thing. It will give you the option when entering the DLC area to actually choose Fire Giant as a playable character. You're going to want to stay on the right side to sneak past this troll. Watch out for this little muskrat thing. They're very deadly. Much higher HP stats than you'd expect. But we all know the lore. Speaking of lore, most of us who have played this game know that this area is actually where Godfrey, Radagon, and Radon held their first barbecue, where all of the 8 Elden divine beings were invited. If you look carefully, you can actually see some holes in the sand from where they played beer darts. Ha! And maybe a more unknown fact about the lore of this beach is that these 2 penguins were actually once party guests at the Great Barbecue. But, as some of you may know, they lost a game of Parcheesi against Godfrey, and were cursed with the body of a penguin for the rest of their days. There they go. Poor souls. And coming up on our right here, you'll see these. These were actually uncooked pieces of steak from Godfrey's what the heck am I talking about? And legend has it, if you come up to the edge, near where the water drops off, and you hit him with the hello, it will actually spawn a great beast known as the Reaper Leviathan, which, one moment please. Oh! Yes, it will spawn the Reaper Leviathan, which is accessible later, pre-DLC or post-DLC. You can access it by buying a game called Subnautica. And once you're done with that, we'll head right back up the hill. Make sure you dodge this little muskrat when walking up the hill. If you bump into him, it will spawn a demon in the DLC that will physically haunt your computer. All part of the plan. Coming along back north of the Church of Ella, you will see a soldier walking along the path. Now I'm bringing him up because you have to be careful around him. He's what you might call a rumor weed. Be careful what you say when crossing the path near this soldier. He likes to gossip and he will tell the whole kingdom everything he heard. Now this can have many effects, positive or negative, in the DLC or pre-DLC. For example, if you walk past him and say a line such as, "Oh boy, I love lemon juice, it's my favorite drink in the world, don't tell anybody though," he will, in fact, tell everyone. And this inflicts something similar to the Nemesis idea from Shadow of War games, where later bosses in Elden Ring will start calling you nicknames due to what they've heard from this soldier. For example, when you enter the first Margit fight, which is not too far from here, you'll get an interesting piece of dialogue that goes like this.
"Greetings, Lemonhead. What are you doing here? Are you looking for some
lemons to suck on?
I'm going to kill you now."
And I think this is a very interesting thing that they added to the game. I think it took a lot of guts and hard work to go through all the effort to implement something like that. You're gonna want to climb up on this rock after you see that soldier. There's gonna be a little white pebble on the ground. You're gonna want to smack it, and you can go ahead and pick that up if you want to make the game easy for yourself. Now coming up to this first village, very important prep here that needs to be done very carefully. First things first, you're gonna want to take out this guy next to the yellow tent. Another soldier and his dog will come over. Feel free to eliminate them. I should also mention, you're not allowed to roll for this section. Either get hit or block. You may jump as well, but rolling during this fight will actually cause a bug when you begin the DLC. And you may be curious, well, what is this bug? Basically, upon entrance of the DLC, you will get a blue screen with a notification that reads,
"This is not the intended way to play."
And an analog horror-esque picture of Estelle's face will pop up on the screen slowly, along with some chilling music. Very creepy if you ask me. Next, you may come over to this grace near the village, and you can collect that if you want to make the game easy. At this point, Melina will show up. What? You're actually going to refuse her first offer to help you to the foot of the Erd Tree. It's very important. Now what you're going to want to do is get up from this grace, walk a couple feet for where she can't hear you anymore. You're going to want to put on the dejection gesture. You're going to want to use that and say the following out loud.
Oh my goodness, that was our first date? I don't think it went very well. Oh my goodness, does she like me? I don't know.
Then you're going to want to go back to the same grace, or the one on the opposing side of the village. It doesn't matter. You're going to click Talk to Melina, and once again we are going to refuse her offer, because in some weird attempt our character is trying to seem cool in front of Melina. You don't want to seem too eager to accept her offer, because in the DLC what will actually happen is you will get a dialogue line from Melina saying,
"Ha ha, you thought you were skibbity? No cap, you thought I would dap you up. You are straight up an anti-Rizzler."
And she will proceed to steal every single rune you have in your inventory. But as long as you've rejected her offer twice, you should be fine. And feel free to accept the third offer. And there we go. We get the Spectral Steed Whistle, which is actually very important for the DLC prep. After exiting the Grace, you're going to want to turn east, look up at the beautiful moon and say, "Wow, I wish I had someone to share this beautiful moment with. I'm immensely lonely." Now, the game will actually register that as a voice command for the DLC and will spawn someone else, a real player, into your game upon entrance of the DLC. And they will be able to help you through levels and fight bosses and all sorts of good things. Although currently there is a bug with this, the summoned player will spawn upside down, and for some reason the game will register them in a kill box. So basically we'll kill them and send them back to their world, rendering the help useless. Hopefully there is a patch for this someday. Now as you can see, there's a troll up on this ledge. He's actually very important for the DLC prep. You're going to want to use this wind gust to get you up to where he is. Now once you're up here, you're going to want to say out loud, "Wow, I didn't know there were 4 of you." and then we will proceed to run in the opposite direction. Now, how this helps us in the DLC is it will register you as a coward, and for every enemy in the DLC, it will summon 3 more duplicates of that enemy. Now, this could be considered as a hard mode, although you will be getting 4 times as many runes, so choose your decision carefully if you want to enter this hard mode. Coming up to this bridge, you can see a man on top of the bridge hitting himself in the head. This is actually the first sign we get of Mesmer's magic at work. You see, this man, this mad pumpkinhead, is under Mesmer's spell, and we have to save him! And there we go. That one actually took me 8 tries, but I'll skip through to save you some time. Now, how this helps us for DLC is, we get 900 runes for killing him. And what you can do with this is, go up to the edge of the bridge, jump up on this pedestal, near the edge where you can see below. Take your hard-earned runes, select leave, and then make a wish. Please bring Bloodborne to PC. And now, this actually seems to have some sort of real-world supernatural powers, as your wish will actually be granted. The devs have been questioned on this and how it works, and they're really not sure. They said they had no idea it was in the game. Once crossing the bridge, you're going to want to come up to this beautiful musician playing his beautiful music, and we're actually going to sit here and listen to him. Now, you're going to have to sit here for roughly 6.5 hours, so I would suggest leaving your game on, going to do something, and then coming back later. I'll skip ahead to save you some time. She wouldn't take my grapes!
First you who should reject the
Grapes of Nye.
Oh, sorry. Looks like it's been about 6.5 hours. We're gonna stand up. Oh, and actually, if you roll cancel out of that, you have to sit down for 6.5 more hours because it ruins the whole process. So I'll skip ahead to save you some time. And there we are, just reaching the 6-minute mark. We're gonna stand up without roll canceling. Did I say 6 minutes? I meant 6.5 hours. Now make sure you have a shield equipped. You're gonna want to turn. Oh, come on, come on, come on. There, that exact frame. You're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now what that's gonna do is make you look like a fool! I can't believe you actually did it! Ha, I'm just kidding. It actually gives you a Guardian Angel buff upon entrance into the DLC. A flaming juggernaut will fall from the sky in front of your presence, and he will follow you around through the events of the DLC, eating anything in your path. And now you're gonna wanna come talk to this armored man while having one of those grave monsters spawn behind you. They're going to walk up close to you and probably attack. You want to be talking to him when they attack. Great. Now what that's gonna do is actually spawn you with the Ghost Flame buff upon entrance to the DLC. The Ghost Flame buff does many things. Visually, it makes your character slightly transparent. Gameplay-wise, it gives you -6 strength. And as we come down the hill, you're gonna want to grab this grace, of course, if you want to make the game easy. And what we're going to do is come down to this character here. You'll see them in a boat. They're called Tibia Mariner. You're going to hide near this rock, crouch down, dejection or rest works. I'm gonna use dejection here. And you're gonna want to say out loud,
Catching anything?
this will cause the Tibia Mirror to enter Fury mode, at the mere disrespect of you assuming that she has not caught anything yet. Now, I won't actually show you Enraged mode. We're actually just gonna run back because I have a few more things I want to show you. But no, yeah, Enraged mode is totally real. It's terrifying. She grows 4 arms actually, and becomes somewhat of a pink mech version of Fire Giant. She's very difficult. Actually ranked number 2 on the Gleb's rankings of the hardest bosses in Elden Ring. And there we go. Coming back from the way you came, crossing the bridge, you'll hear a voice. You're gonna want to go towards that voice. Now, coming up to Alexander. A lot of you have probably helped him out here before, but this is a mistake, as helping him out actually gives you a -10% health debuff. What you're going to want to do instead is use the rest button in front of his face. Hello? And you're going to want to say out loud,
I won't fall for your silly tricks. I won't.
And then you're going to want to roll cancel out of that emote. This actually gives you protection from the curses that Alexander places upon you. And then you're gonna come up this hill, which is where we'll actually see our first real boss. Full cutscene and all. You're also gonna want to catch that Wild Strikes Asher War, very important for the DLC. Also, you're gonna want to die when coming up this area. specifically hit by a crossbow. This protects you from Mesmer's hallucinations. There is a hallucination hidden stat in the game, akin to the insight stat from Bloodborne. Basically, when your hallucination stat starts to get too high, you'll start seeing Mesmer's monsters appear around you in the world. Now these can appear as creatures from giant jellyfish, up to and including things such as ladybugs wearing tuxedos. And now, we're actually going to do our first level up before this big boss fight. You're going to want to put 1 stat in endurance. This is actually not true, but no backsies. You can't undo it now. Now, when entering this fight, it's very important not to summon this gold sign. And yes, like the previous bosses, you will have to beat this boss on your first try, or be forced to restart the game. And it must be done without armor. You must also use just the club one-handed for this fight. And now I'll go do that for you real quick.
Come on, dude, let's go.
Yikes! No!
Come on. Come on. They believe in me. They think I can do it. Don't let me down. That's what they're saying. They're saying, don't let me down. I need this. I can beat him. Why couldn't I beat him on my first try? I've beaten him before. No!
And there we have it, easy as pie. You may be wondering, aren't you in the room before the boss fight? There's actually just nothing really important past this area once you beat him, so I'm just coming back here to reuse the grace. At this point, Melina will start yapping. Unfortunately, you have to agree to go to the round table hold with Melina. Oh my. When she takes your hand, you must say out loud, "Where can I go to
The round table?
Upon entrance to the round table, if you turn to your right, you will see Gideon here. Now this is very, very important. You must come within direct eye contact of him, straight in front of his gaze. Turn your camera towards the sky and say out loud,
Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing.
And ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, you have completed your prep guide for the Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erd Tree. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. That was clapping. All you have to do from this point on is finish the rest of the game. But don't worry, there's not really that much left to do. And yes, I know you're all wondering, you do have to beat the entire game without armor. And 1 club. In fact, you're not even allowed to use it with 2 hands. It is also recommended to stay at rune level 1 throughout the whole game. This will give Mesmer the intimidated debuff, and he will be afraid of you and may even have a chance to flee. It's about 60-40 if it happens. Good luck, adventurer! I believe in you, and I will see you in the DLC. Goodbye, and thank you for watching this guide. Comment below which part was the most useful for you. And also feel free to comment any tips or tricks that I may have missed. We'll see you later, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you everyone for watching. I know that was a very silly video. Yes, just to be clear again, everything was total baloney. Not that I was expecting this to fool a single person. I've just been seeing a lot of the videos about prepping for the DLC, and I thought it would be so funny just to make a stupidest guide I could make. Just the most unhelpful video out there. Hopefully it was funny. Let me know. Drop a like. Let me know if you like these sort of satire videos like this. It was just a fun thing I literally thought of about an hour ago. I was like, that might be funny. I'm not trying to trick anyone into thinking this was an actual guide, so I'm hoping no one is upset by that. If you are, I'm so sorry. Please just, let me know that I'm a silly goose and just give me a tisk and then watch an actually helpful guide. All right, be calm, be kind. I'll see everybody on Friday. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye. Anti-gravity chair, anti-gravity chair.